Hello and a very warm welcome to all. And with this quote by James Ballock, let's get started and talk about earthquakes. Talking about earthquakes, so what is an earthquake exactly? An earthquake occurs when two blocks of earth suddenly slip past each other with a sudden release of energy. The surface on which they slip is known as the fault or the fault plane. Next, let's see the causes and the possible general locations where earthquakes occur. The location beneath the Earth's surface where the earthquake begins is known as the hypocenter, and the location directly above it on the Earth's surface is known as the epicenter. A planet's surface is covered by a thin skin made up of the crust and the top of the mantle. The skin, however, is not all in one piece. It is made up of many pieces of puzzle which covers the Earth's surface. And not only that, pieces of puzzle keep moving around, sliding past and bumping into one another. These puzzle pieces are known as the tectonic plates, and the edges of the plates are known as plate boundaries. The plate boundaries are made up of many faults, and the majority of the earthquakes occur along these faults around the world. While the fault edges are stuck together and the rest of the block is moving, the energy that would normally cause the blocks to slide past each other is stored. All of the stored energy is released suddenly when the force of the moving blocks finally overcomes the friction of the faults. Like ripples on a pond, this energy radiates outward from the fault in all directions in the form of seismic waves. As seismic waves move through the earth, they shake it, and when the waves reach the earth's surface, they shake the ground and anything on it, including our houses and even us. Next, let us see how do we measure and the instruments that are we use to measure the earthquakes. So seismographs are instruments that record earthquakes. A seismogram is the name given to the recording that they make. This seismograph has a solid ground base and a heavy weight that hangs freely, as you can see in the image. When an earthquake shakes the ground, the seismograph's base shakes as well, but the hanging weight does not. But instead, the spring or the string from which it is suspended absorbs all the movement. What is recorded on the seismograph is the difference in position between the shaking and motionless parts of the seismograph. The size of an earthquake is determined by the size of the fault and the amount of slip on the fault, which scientists cannot measure with a measuring tape because faults are many kilometers deep beneath the Earth's surface. So, how do they calculate the magnitude of an earthquake? The Richter magnitude scale, also known as the local magnitude M scale, assigns a numerical value to the amount of seismic energy that is released by an earthquake. It is a logarithmic scale with a base of 10 and measures the intensity of the earthquake. And finally, let us see the earthquake prediction and the safety tips one must follow. So, can we predict earthquakes? The simple answer is no, and it is doubtful that we'll ever be able to predict them. Scientists have tried a variety of methods to predict earthquakes, but none have been successful yet. They do know that another earthquake will occur on any given fault at some point in the future, but there is no way of knowing exactly when. Talking about the safety tips one must follow. First is the safe and steady aspect, where one should try to get under a strong instrument of furniture or object. Second is the drop, cover, and hold movement during an earthquake. One must inspect their houses for better safety immediately before and after an earthquake. Lastly, one should expect aftershocks, which are vibrations felt even after the primary earthquake has passed, and be prepared accordingly. I thank you for your kind attention. Have a good day.